I have a smartwatch. It's pretty cool. It can tell me the atmospheric pressure. It can tell me how many steps I've taken. It can tell me the time, obviously. It's pretty cool. It also tells me my heart rate. It's fun sometimes to look at my heart rate and see what it was like when I was asleep. Like the other night, my heart rate dropped to 48 beats per minute while I was passed out. That means I'm either really healthy or I might die one night in my sleep and I'd never know what happened. Now, I exercise pretty hard during the week. I basically do 5 minutes of maximum effort, high intensity cardio by swinging a kettlebell that weighs as much as a gymnast. I get red in the face and I sweat and my heart races. So I'm thinking I might actually have a relatively healthy ticker. But I also have a family history of heart disease. Then there's also the universal human condition of eventual death. I'm gonna die one day. So are you. That's gonna happen. It doesn't matter if you jog, if you eat vegan, or if you eat extra animals, or if you bathe in the blood of the young. You're gonna die. It is going to happen. No one really talks about it. I guess part of that is that we human beings proclaim ourselves to be rational creatures. We think, therefore we are, but we think about silly shit. Like once I was at work and thought about, what if I made a Harry Potter themed porno and just called it Sirius Black? We think that if we never ever talk about death, then it just won't happen. As if we've ever been to a funeral and looked into the casket and thought to ourselves, man, how could this happen? He never talked about his inevitable death. How could this happen? But you are going to die no matter what pretense you've been feeding yourself. No loss of human life feels acceptable, and yet it is a certain inevitability. So obviously, if you're just reading your morning paper and bam, someone puts a gun against your head and sprays your college education all over the drywall, they're definitely in the wrong. Naturally occurring death feels less offensive though. If you got married and led a life with love and interesting experiences, and then at the ripe old age of 105, you passed away in your sleep, we as a society seem to just say that that's okay. I think we're all just worried about what happens afterward. If you followed Christianity, you're familiar with the idea that you pass out, wake up in a dark tunnel, and you go toward the light, and then you see your dog from 3rd grade, and there's the scene from Black Panther where all the other kings look back at you and welcome you, or give you just words of wisdom if it's not your time yet. But what if that isn't true? What if you just sit in a hospital bed for a while, and then everything goes black? And that's it. Your loved ones choose an arrangement for your remains. You desiccate and then break down underground, or you're set on fire and you turn to ashes. Your loved ones grieve your loss with varying degrees of healthy success. Ideally, they learn to process their sadness and eventually learn to enjoy your memory without it triggering bouts of sobbing. You, having been dead, have no idea what is actually happening, as you have ceased to exist. If you have any descendants, their memories of you slowly start to fade, and if you're lucky, you're an ancestor with a humorous anecdote or inspiring story. If you're unlucky, you're a random dead end on some alien relative's family tree chart. Like, there's my great uncle so-and-so, he worked as an actuary for an insurance conglomerate, and he never got to see the sunset in Paris. Eventually, your descendants or your far-off relatives will pass away. Whatever genes you thought of as your own will eventually fade into the background. Those traits that are positive for all of humanity will continue. Those negative parts of you that you don't like eventually fade into the miasma lost and considered part of a prehistory future generations could never imagine. Maybe somewhere in that future, we learn how to leave the planet and perfect the idea of what the human experience means on another planet. Maybe we learn how to come up with a Star Trek-like situation and learn about other cultures on other planets. And hopefully, in that Star Trek-like future, we don't have a Captain Kirk doing his best to try to catch every STD in the known universe. Maybe we don't do any of that, and it turns out we're dead in 100 years when a megavolcano explodes in Yellowstone. Everyone you knew and loved just ceases to be, and we're an evolutionary dead end, like the dinosaurs. Who you do kind of have to feel bad for. Like they weren't responsible for climate change or pollution. They were just off being their best iguanodon and velociraptor selves, and then boom! Meteored. Either way, in 5 billion years, that's billion with a B and not million with an M, the sun will enter its own elderly age, take its galactic Viagra by fusing helium together for energy and reach its ultimate tumescence. It will become a red giant and in its enlarged state, make the seas of the earth boil and the skies turn red. We'll either be dead or gone. The red giant stage of our sun will last 1 billion years or so, and then it will either become a white dwarf or explode in a supernova. And not a champagne supernova like the Oasis song. I don't actually know what that is. No, a supernova where our star just explodes so vividly it can be seen from other solar systems. Any single part of you that was still left from your existence will be vaporized or cast deep into the farthest reaches of space outside our solar system. And the flash of it happening will take thousands of years to even be seen. Eventually, the black holes at the center of galaxies will swallow each other up, becoming bigger and bigger, and the slow, eventual heat death of the universe will begin. All energy will eventually be lost to entropy. There will be no suns, no stars in the night sky. Matter as we know it won't exist. There will be bloated, full black holes floating about in an icy existence. At this point, there may be stray subatomic particles floating about, the odd neutron not belonging to a nucleus, 2 stray protons bonded from their time together as part of a helium atom, now speeding along to nowhere in particular. That's what happens. It doesn't matter. We will live, we will die, the universe will lose its energy. On the one hand, it might seem gloomy. No matter what, nothing will ever last. Everything will fall apart. But it's kind of a blessing. You know how sometimes you think someone is saying hi to you, and you perk up and you smile and wave, only to realize they don't even see you and they're talking to somebody behind you? It doesn't matter. Absolutely nothing will last, and that moment definitely will not. You know how you tried to make sushi that one time, and right when you finally finished rolling the rice and seaweed, you tried to cut it and you just mashed it with the knife? And that perfect little cylinder of fish and rice just looked like shit? That's fine. Even if you got it perfect, it was never going to last. It's all temporary. When everything is temporary, all you have is the present. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. All you have is right now. Are you going to think about the past? Why? It's already happened. There's nothing you can do about it. So what are you going to do with your right now? Are you going to sit around and lament the fact that one day you will cease to exist? I mean, that's fair. Everything I've ever experienced has been through the lens of my own existence. I literally cannot imagine not existing. And so far, I've actually really enjoyed being alive. So why not just enjoy what you do have as much as you can? We have no control over the fact that at some point we began to exist. We can't control our past. Well, not yet. And if you watch Doctor Who, even he can't change some things. We can't control our future because we're not even sure if it's going to be there. So live in the moment. Don't do anything that'll ruin your tomorrow, because who knows? It might just show up. But tell all of your loved ones you care about them and make sure they know it. Eat good food. Enjoy your body. Exercise with it. Have really good sex with it. Enjoy the feeling on a cold day as you walk out of the shade and you feel the warm rays of the sun shining on your face and you feel alive.